Okay, we are live, and welcome if you've joined us on this live stream of the Starlink launch. They're going to launch some satellites, and today is the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. And that was massively cheesy. But we're going to be taking your questions. I have 4 panelists here, including myself. I'm just going to add Jace on there. And we will take your questions about Starlink. So if you have any questions about how it runs, how it works, how smooth it is, well, it's a good time to ask. I will say the last time there was a launch and we did a live stream, everything crashed. So we're going to wait and see this time, and welcome to the stream, and please feel free to ask questions. Otherwise we'll just enjoy the launch itself. Oh, it's not satellites tonight, is it? Or was
Yeah,
it?
it's a Starlink launch.
That's okay. I got worried for a minute. I just seen some dude sitting there. I was thinking, flip, have we got the wrong one? Sorry, I'm just going to adjust that a little bit so people can see it better. Yeah, so I think this is a good place for people to ask questions if they are interested in getting Starlink. We have all got it. We're all streaming on it right now, and it's a good if you're asking about. Oh, Roger's driving, so he's not going to be. How can you be watching this and driving and texting, Roger? Oh, there we go. We're encouraging people to get Starlink. Well, this is a good place to watch and ask questions about that. And Peter, very encouraging there. Hope there's no outages. Well, I hope there's no outages as well. You never know.
Well, we have had a couple this evening, haven't we?
It's been a bit temperamental tonight, Starlink. For you guys, it's been fine for me, but for you guys, you've had some issues, right?
Yeah, I was down for it was about 5 minutes roughly, which is strange as it's been really solid all day. But yeah, about 5 minutes completely down. But the dish actually crashed as well, so it stopped responding to pings even locally. So the only way I could get it back up again was to literally power cycle the dish, and then it sprung back into life again.
And the thing is, yours in your garden, did you see it fold up? Did it go into stow position or not?
No, it didn't stow. It stayed exactly where it was. There was no obstructions, no nothing. It just seemed to die, which is nice.
Wow. Yeah, well, let's hope that's
It's the first time it's done it, to be fair.
I'm going to have a look at my stats and see how they're going. Mine's been so stable for the last few days on this most recent firmware, but I think there's a new firmware out which we haven't got yet.
I've had a number of outages over the last couple of days.
Well, you're getting the best speeds from what I see, Martin.
Yeah, I had a bird that got right underneath the dish today, and looking at some of the pictures, because I posted them on Discord, it looked as if the dish had gone into the stow position, rebooted, and then went back up again.
You see, when you're saying that, I'm thinking the dish attacked the bird.
Yeah.
I mean, if it went underneath and it's caused an outage, that's interesting.
I mean, what I find quite interesting is I wonder if that is sort of an anti-bird mechanism that they've coded in. So once it notices there's a massive obstruction there, it'll go into the stow position to try and move the bird off and then come back again.
Well, it could be.
I think we need to train some birds to investigate.
I think it was sheltering from the rain.
Oh, they had a bird. Just to confirm, they have birds over there as well. So we're not alone. They're probably having bird issues. Can you imagine though that this got called off because of birds? Like birds are Starlink's worst nightmare.
Did you
Roger
see
sent
the?
Chinese rocket. Is that it? That's not a Chinese rocket, is it?
No. Did you see the failed landing? And on the drone ship, there was a load of birds had landed on there.
Are
And
you kidding?
no, it actually happened. And the stage one didn't actually land. It went into the sea, and everyone was saying, "Oh,
Oh
yes, they're
no.
saving the birds."
They were the luckiest birds going. They were going to be barbecued elves.
They absolutely
Yeah.
were.
So I get the
No, I think-
feeling this is a 60 satellite launch, is it?
Yeah.
Just a question for those that are watching the stream. Can you hear the audio all right from the YouTube? We literally didn't have a chance to monitor or try and set it up properly. So give us a bit of feedback on that. If you need it louder. Oh, yes, we got a Starlink user watching on. So we got 5 Starlink users right here, right now. I quite like George FM's profile picture. That's pretty sweet. Thanks for that, Roger. Roger that? Is that a bit cheesy if I say that? Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty quick.
It was a shame we had the aborted Starship test today, because they'd put a Starlink actually on this test, hadn't they, today? They were going to test it.
Yeah.
So it looks like about 23 seconds away now.
I find it quite intense because it has potential to go wrong. You know, I just feel like, I don't know. It's still kind of exciting. Oh, here we go.
Either that or we'll all go offline.
Go. Oh, she said it too. She flipping said, "May the 4th be with us." Oh,
It's got to be done, hasn't it, today?
I think they're watching us in the Stowe lab.
There's a good chance.
Birds. I seen a bird.
No matter how many of these launches I watch, I still find it incredible that they can take that thing up there and land it again on a drone ship in the middle of the ocean.
And the good thing is we can watch the landing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping there's birds in the way. Hello, Matt. Welcome. So we currently have 5 Starlink users on stream at the minute. Oh, there's a spider on the lens. He's going, what's happening? I was on Earth a minute ago. What the crap?
Spider to orbit.
Oh, that's when you want to get bit. That's the one you want to get bit by, right? When it comes back.
Too right. What a view that is.
That's incredible. It's quite humbling, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's Ken from Michigan. Hello. Thank you so much for your support, guys, and your comments in the previous videos. Really appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, here's a question for us all. If money was no object and we had the chance to go up into space on, Crew Dragon, do a lap around the moon and come back again, would you do it?
Totally, 100%.
It's quite a question.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
What about you, Aaron?
I'm going to say no. I'm just going to keep my feet firmly on Earth for the time being, I think. Until Elon's gone up there himself and whizzed around. At that point, I think I'll go and do it.
Given the opportunity, though, if you were given that opportunity of a lifetime to do it, I'm sure you wouldn't say no.
If they're paying, then yeah, I might do. But
I think I'm scared of heights, so I'm out.
Okay.
Another
I think
South
it's only
Cambridge.
fair I answer my own question as well. I think I probably would.
Everybody in the
Although
comments is saying
saying that
no.
though, I'm not particularly fond of getting on an aeroplane, let alone a Crew Dragon.
Hmm. On a dragon, yes. On a starship, not right now.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'll second that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a
It's
view of that
fascinating
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's pretty good. How long do they how often do the launches? Every couple of weeks, is it? Once a week now, is it? 60?
No, it's a little bit longer than that. So it's about every 2 to 3 weeks, roughly.
It's really impressive, isn't it?
It's mind blowing.
Just the quality of that feed alone.
Yeah.
Streaming on Starlink.
Do you reckon they are using Starlink? I reckon they're using someone else. Probably using Virgin. It kind of looks like a barbecue. The one on the left, like the little griddle pans at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You're not seeing it, are you? Just like dismissing
Or a
it
fly
just because you
swatter.
said it.
I wonder how that spider's doing.
He's going to be a
He's
little
on his
ice
way to
cube.
Mars right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's burned the smithereen. It gets warmer as you go up, or is it warmer in re-entry?
Warm run re-entry.
And then it's cold as you leave. I'm
It's
guessing.
very
What the hell?
cold going up. Yeah.
I'm talking like I've done it. I haven't done it. From what I remember.
Then again, Des might find out soon.
That's it. If we can get him to the moon, that'll be lush. Somebody agrees it's barbecue. Matthew's saying, yep. Get a steak on that.
Yeah.
That confused me last time when they kept saying, I still love you. I was really thrown by that on the last stream.
That's the actual platform that it lands on, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course, I still love you, and just read the instructions. It's
a good question about what stats are we getting on the ping and stuff like that. Roger, I think he's an American user and he gets 70 on his ping. So yeah, we're pretty good over here. I was getting 23 earlier, but then we have had connection problems here today, Roger. So these guys have all struggled. I've been quite fortunate. Well, I've been working quite a bit today, so I haven't had a chance to test it. But mine seems to have been quite stable. What about you guys in terms of your pings? What you've been getting?
Yeah, mine's been quite good. Like yourself, I got down to 23 earlier. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I've just run a speed test now, and it's come through at 41 milliseconds ping and about 270 megabytes down. But I saw about 25 milliseconds earlier on.
If you're streaming on it as well, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Mid-30s for me.
I'm going to test mine in a second. Once this, I feel something exciting's going to happen here. I'm going to test it. I'm going to do it. I'll show you my screen. I'll test it live and you can see. So while streaming and doing this, that's mine. I don't think it's going to focus, is it? It's going pretty quick by the look of it. Oh, it's going to focus. Let me bring it back over my face. Oh, look at the upload. That's not bad considering we're streaming.
Do you reckon we could all do like a speed test race all at once.
A simultaneous speed test. We could try.
In
So I
the
was
comments,
thinking
bets on the
38.
person.
38
I have quite an old
milliseconds.
phone though.
If you've got one, we'll do it on. Tell me when you're ready, and we'll all do a speed test and see what we get. Oh, Canada! I love Canada. It's one of the most beautiful countries. Tell me when you're ready, guys. Now.
Yep,
We'll do
ready.
this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, 33. Oh my gosh, you guys are.
Having a nightmare, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Isn't it weird that we're all like in the same? Oh, it's landed. We missed the landing. Well, it landed.
Absolutely smack bang in the centre as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Of course, I still love you. Loss of signal. That's what happens whenever your internet goes down. So I had a 240 to 20 on that download upload.
Yeah, mine wasn't that good. Mine was
33 ping.
23.
It's interesting, isn't it? That we just all did that at the same time, and there's the variations are still quite big.
Yeah, I hit 253 down, 30 milliseconds ping, and about 11 up. It's like not horrendous.
Yeah, that's still pretty good considering fiber to cabinet. Right,
See,
what
right
happens
now, for
now?
some
What's
reason,
next on this?
So we have quite a long wait now.
What is the next stage?
it's literally like Martin says, it's quite a long wait now. So it has to get to where it needs to be, the orbital insertion, I believe it's called.
And then is there
And
some
so,
more
yeah, then
camera
there's-
action so it will show us what oh, there we go. That's
Yeah,
pretty
so
good.
the camera will stay pretty much like that. It'll drop out occasionally when it switches ground stations.
I mean, I'm pretty happy
but
still on
that's-
stream, guys. What about yourself? Do you want to do it either it crashes out or till we all get really tired and fall asleep? But ultimately, we are trying to test the connection, so you know.
Yeah.
We're trying to, yeah.
I think it's roughly about a 40-minute wait now, I think.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of cruises at a certain altitude until it gets to the location that it needs to get to, and then it'll deploy.
Right over my house, I think.
I think it was over mine, actually.
Oh, look, there's your house there. Look, that's
There it is. Look, you can see my dish.
It always amazes me how quickly they can put a set of satellites together ready for a launch.
I know. I mean, if they're knocking out 60 every couple of weeks, that's pretty phenomenal.
App update available, look, on the timeline.
What have you done?
So if you look just above the time, it's just gone now.
gone
But
out.
just above the time, it said app update available, and that's on SpaceX's end.
Oh, that's amazing. They haven't updated their firmware. Oh,
God.
I have to reboot. I don't know. It's a good question there from Matthew. We did talk about that earlier. Not on
I
this
don't
stream,
think
but
so.
in chat. It would be quite fitting though if we had lasers today.
It would.
May the 4th. I'm going to stop doing that joke. I think it's not even a joke. It's just silly. It's very juvenile. Right, who's got some interesting facts about these rockets? Let's try and find some. Oh, I got something else to show you guys. So on obviously we have Des here, and he's joined us for the Lifeline. The team also has some of their own partners. There's their little routers. There we go. There's that. So we got Terry. I'm not sure what yours is called, Martin. What have you named yours?
Colin.
Colin. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. Okay.
No comment.
No. I've got somebody else to show you. I'm going to introduce you to this little guy. Oh my gosh, it looks like he's got a disease. I'm going to show you anyway. So this is a little grass man. He's got grass as hair, and he was given to me as a gift by my sister-in-law because I cut the grass on the farm. So I'm a grass man apparently. That could be taken so many different ways.
Grass man.
Yeah. Somebody's looking for the satellites to be dropped over Florida. I think it takes 3 months for them to when they spread out and stuff, right? So they don't just start working as soon as you get them up there. Not 100% sure on that.
Now, if it was a little bit darker, you can see the path that stage 2 is going to go straight over the UK. So if it's a little bit dark, you'd be able to see it go over.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be going over my house.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. I reckon I could see it from my location.
Yeah, I did it on one. I think it was the Demo 1 mission. And it was actually dark enough, and I saw it go over the top. It was really cool.
That's pretty cool. Maybe. I was going to say, well, we're just going to get brighter and brighter now, unless we're streaming at midnight or something. It would be good to see that. We get pretty clear night here as well. So we could have possibly had a camera outside and watched it go over live.
Yeah,
that's amazing, right? That kind of blows my mind to think that has just launched. Was it Cape Canaveral?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just launched in Cape Canaveral, and look where it is now. What do you reckon? Like 20 minutes, and it'll be over the UK.
Yep, that's what it was last. Well, it was 15 minutes last time. I don't know how it can be any shorter or longer, but it was 15 minutes. And you went outside, and it was just like a super quick bright light going across the sky. And because it was lower, it seemed faster than, like, if you've seen the space station go over. It was a lot quicker than that.
It's crazy. Oh, Aaron, somebody's commenting about your camera, saying it's a lot better. I think Aaron's went out to PC World.
All I did was change the USB port on it, and it seems to work a lot better.
It's lush. I think it's great.
I think the next place the transponder picks up is Goon Hilly as well, so we should get that message come through any minute.
Yeah.
It'd be great if it did a reboot over everything and just all crashed. But I'm pleased to say my network is looking pretty good at the minute. I've just had a quick look at my stats, and they're all very, very strong.
Shall we see if my speed has increased from 16 meg? No?
Go for it. Go. You go for
Let's have a look. 32
Have any of you
millisecond
been lucky
ping.
enough to see the Starlink trains yet in the sky at night?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. There seems to be no rhyme or reason as to when you can see them and when you can't. It seems to be when they're lower down, so if they've just launched. But sometimes you can go out and you'll see them perfectly. Other times you could be there for 20 minutes and see nothing.
I'm just having a look at some of the comments. Are the sheep in the rain? No, no rain at the minute. They were out in the storm this morning, so the sheep were. I'm gonna have to share with you. We hand reared a couple of the sheep actually, and they're really friendly. The issue that we had was that they were rams. So when they were small, that's amazing. They just run around the garden, and it's wonderful because you have these sheep that are very playful. But the way they play is they headbutt. And when they get 200, 300 kilos, that's a real problem, having a 200 or 300 kilo animal headbutt you. So my little girl often goes up to see them, and I'll get some footage of that, and I will share that with you, I promise. And it's, yeah, they're really great. The farmer, Kenny, has promised us he will not turn them into meat. So my little girl's holding him to account over that. Question there about, are you still on your iPad? No, you're not. You're on a webcam, are you?
No, I've switched over to the webcam now. Now I know it is the USB socket on the PC. I might as well use this one. It's easier to use. But yeah, I don't have a clue why it makes a difference, but for some reason it does.
It looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. 300 kilo sheep, yeah. Big rams. They are Suffolks. They're the ones with the black heads, white bodies. When they're little, they're all black, and then they develop white wool. Now, I know too much about sheep. I'm going to stop talking about sheep. I feel like I'm... yeah. they're good. Actually, I might have a little video. It's just, I'm not going to share it because I don't want to ruin the Starlink feed. I could, though, right? Should I do it? Nah, let's not. I'll mess it up. Don't want to mess it up.
Go on, try it. You know you want to. A little part of you there going, I want to do it.
Let me have a look. I'm going to see if I can bring up the sheep feed then. I'm not
Just
so
whilst
sure.
you're doing that, here is a photo I took of the Starlink train at 5:21 a.m. that I got up to look at it.
That's really impressive. That's quite a good photo, actually. What phone is that on?
That was just on an iPhone 12.
Very nice.
It was really cool to see.
I don't know the answer to this question from Billy. When are they going to ramp up? I'm guessing that means satellite distribution. Does that mean put more up? I don't know. I think they've got quite a big alliance now. They won the bid or whatever they had to get that, right?
I think eventually the goal is to, once Starship is up and running and fully tested, they can launch a lot more satellites into orbit. I think they're quite restricted with Falcon 9 at the moment.
Yeah, I think Starship can do about 400 at a time, is it? Each launch?
Yeah.
Compared to the 60 that Falcon 9 does. That's a huge difference in terms of how many you can get up there in one launch.
I'm just literally having a look at the lambs here to see if there's an appropriate video to share. Oh, I think they're on my other hard drive. I've only got the ones that I've had on Facebook and stuff like that. Oh.
Unless he was referring to obviously Dishy distribution. It was a bit of a broad question.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That's a good point. So in terms of actually customer distribution, well, yeah, I get the feeling that they're putting more out in America. So America is obviously a bigger market than the UK, I think, because we only had 1,500 here in the last stock take, but who knows what it is now.
Do you think the chip shortages are affecting production? Anyone know that?
I think it's a good question, and I'm going to say on that note, I'm waiting some new camera gear for work and stuff like that, and I've really struggled to get it's a Sony Alpha A1 with a couple of their nice lenses, and I'm really struggling to get the equipment. So I pre-ordered it a month and a half ago, and I'm just cannot get any gear. So even things like Lumix, any Nikon gear, they're struggling. That was because of the fire in Japan. But what I'm also finding is, for those of you who have watched the video with the drone and stuff like that, that was an Autel Evo Pro 2, and there's now a distributor, European distributor in Germany, and I sent a faulty one back there in January, and come April I still had not got it back, and that was because of Brexit. So they just sent me a new one from the UK. So we're really struggling to get chips. We're really struggling to get technology into the country at the minute, and one of them is, as Aaron said, possibly could be parts. Parts are hard to ship around the world. I don't know, because of the pandemic and all the other stuff going on. But in the UK, we're struggling to get technology, and I'm moaning about a camera that I can't get hold of. So yeah, so it's a good point, Aaron. Possibly. What do you think?
I don't have a clue. I'd just be interested to know if that's what's preventing some orders from going out, whether they're doing sort of a phased release on a set amount that they know they can produce.
Question for RGS.
No, it's not. Earlier on, I was at 340 meg. For some reason, at the minute, it's dropped right down. We'll do another test. Let's see what we're at. So we've got a 39 millisecond ping. I'm struggling to get above 20 meg now, which it's never been like that before. So I suspect that something's going on.
20 megs,
Just-
pretty.
Just to answer Matthew's question there, I think in terms of using Starship to launch satellites, if you can imagine, the quantity of satellites that they can launch up, 400, and they're having to use 60 every Falcon 9. So yeah, it would be much more cost effective to use Starship.
Yeah. It's good. We can always put the dishy cam on for a minute, see what's happening on the roof, if it's available.
Yeah.
We could always give a little commentary on it. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the music though. I wish I knew how to stream music through this without breaching any copyright stuff. Maybe I need to pay for the upgrade. Who knows?
Update on my speeds. It was a phone issue. I've just done a test on the Mac, and it's come out at 240 meg.
Wow. Okay.
So the phone is rebooting.
What did your upload come out at, just out of interest?
I didn't see. Bear me a second. It's running again now. So I've got 29 millisecond ping, 240, 260, 280, 290, down to 240 again, 250. And the upload is 21 at the moment. 22.
It still feels like the upload is the most volatile part of it. Like sometimes you can get 5 or 6, and the next minute you've got 49.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I actually find my upload recently, the last week, has been quite consistent.
Yeah, yours has been consistently high, I will say, with a slight touch of envy.
Has yours been consistently low then?
It hasn't been. I think since the jump onto the newer firmware, it's been stable, but not, so it's not going to the extremes. I think it still wobbles between 15 and 30, so you still have that fluctuation, but it's, I mean, before it was dropping to 5, and then you test it again, it'd be 50, and so it'd be massively inconsistent. But it's definitely improving. Every time they launch a new firmware, you just feel it's getting tighter, like it's a refined piece, which I really like.
How do you find your upload times to YouTube then for your videos?
It depends on what size it is. There was the one I did that required a bit more like the sending DAS up in the air. Well, that seemed to take ages, as in compared to the other ones. The other ones come out about 3 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes in terms of my file size. I export them in 4K. Now that video was about 17 minutes, I think. So I think it came out 9-10 gig, and I think that took 2 hours. So that's quite. It sounds like I'm complaining about that. I'm not, but it's just because it was a bigger file, and I still think that's really impressive. I'm just going to answer Billy's question here real quick. I feel like I kind of ignored that. I was not ignoring you, Billy. What's the longest it takes to get one of those kits? I'm guessing you mean the Starlink kit. Well, it really depends where you are. And one of the things that customer service have fed back to us is that if your cell, so whenever you're here in the UK, I don't know about the rest of the world, but if you order and there's a list per cell, so it depends where you are on that list, and then you're allocated based on that rather than a global queue, if you like. Is that fair?
I mean, I ordered mine as soon as the beta went live in my area. I got an email, paid the deposit, and then I think it was around about 11 days from paying the deposit to getting the second email to say that my order was ready to ship. So in between that time from being shipped to it arriving took a further 6 days, which was really, really quick, quick. So from the minute you paid for your kit, and DHL and FedEx are lightning fast at getting the kits to the UK. I was super impressed at how quick that comes from LA to the UK. So yeah, very good.
They could speed that up as well, because one of the days is a Sunday where it just sits either in the UK or in Germany. So if they shipped it one day earlier, technically they could speed up that process by 1 day.
Yeah, and they fly it from Los Angeles, don't they? So they come straight across.
Yeah, usually they dispatch out on either a Thursday or a Friday, then around about Monday or Tuesday you've got it.
So once they take your deposit, I think mine was 4 days. 5 days in total. And that was saying I was originally going to get it mid-2021. So I've been really impressed with that side of it. I know not everybody's experience is that, but I've been fairly impressed with it.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue I had was obviously waiting for the mount. I'd originally ordered the pipe adapter, and that was out of stock. And 3 weeks had passed, and it was still out of stock. And then I got an email to say that it wasn't going to be readily available until mid-May. So I sent them a ticket saying, could you possibly swap it for the Volcano mount? And they did that more or less instantly, and it was shipped within a week. So, anybody that is waiting for an accessory, if you can use the alternative, it's always a good idea to ask them. They're very, very good at swapping the orders over.
Yeah. The only time I've contacted customer service was when I sent them an email, which I felt like I was wasting their time over. I'm not even going to repeat what that was. And I did cancel my roof mount because we found a roof installer, and we don't recommend roof installers anymore. Just use your local aero company is the best way. Support local business, and pipe adapters are pretty good. There is actually some people in the groups that do sort out pipe adapters and various other things, but it's down to you how you if you're quite DIY, I'm sure you can figure it out.
Yeah, I'd had got quotes from various different companies to install my kit, and it was one of the very local installers that I contacted, and he was very interested in being like the first installer in the area to get Starlink up. So he'd given me like a low quote just to see what the process was of getting it up and what he needed to do. And but yeah, it's always best to source your installers locally rather than looking for people that advertise as Starlink installers, because I don't think SpaceX have actually endorsed any installers right now.
No, I don't think they will either, because how do they possibly means test them or find out whether they're because if any liability happens with a dish, the product, or the damage to property, there's so many issues in terms of them having their own team. They would have to be like a bit like, I don't know. I don't even know what I could compare them to. BT engineers, whenever it was just BT before it became OpenReach, you can't. They train internally, and then they have very strict guidelines about installations. I remember the first time I got Sky, it was a case of a guy came out with a ladder and he just climbed up like a nutcase onto the roof and stuck this thing on. A few years later, when I reordered Sky again, they had harnesses and it was like the SAS sticking stuff up, and there was helicopters. There wasn't helicopters, but I wish it was so extreme, so well organized. And I feel that if Starlink were going to do it, it would have to be that thorough, just purely for their own protection of their staff, liability, reputation. So I don't think they'd ever venture into installations. I can't see that happening.
Local aerial installers are qualified to go and put an aerial up. There isn't a huge amount different with Starlink itself. It positions itself, it orientates itself. It's a little bit heavier, and you might need to go heavy duty with some of your poles or how you want to do it. But I've got my receipt in front of me, and it cost me £83.40 in total for the bloke to stick it up.
Yeah.
And they've said all along that this is meant to be almost like plug and play equipment. It's put dishy down, turn dishy on. This is stick dishy on a pole, turn dishy on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Starlink have got to do a lot more in terms of getting the pole adapters out on time with a delivery, rather than telling people to wait 2 to 3 months for them.
Yeah, I think this is one of the things that I fed back to the Starlink team, was that if they are going to supply kits to UK users, then they need to supply the correct equipment for people to put it on the roofs, instead of having additional orders to order, what's suitable. I think that's going to make a massive difference to people.
It's good. I'm just going to jump onto this question here. Do you recommend the roof flashing mount or the volcano mount? Secure enough to mount on the roof? Is the volcano mount secure enough to mount on the roof? The volcano mount, I think, is it just a US thing, or is that a UK thing as well?
Both.
Because whenever I went on to buy it, I did not see the option to buy that. That's the one that folds over the top, right? And you stick bricks either side of it?
That's the flashing one, isn't it?
Roof ridge mount, or
Yeah, that's the ridgeline mount, isn't it? I think that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's the only.
So the roof flashing mount and the volcano mount, they're both ones that attach. So I guess it depends on what your need is. So
the ridgeline you can still get in the UK. You just have to go through support and request it via an open ticket, so you can get hold of it.
Okay. And then any thoughts on the question? Any recommendations either way, either the flash mount or the volcano mount?
Well, for me, I had the volcano mount, but we had a look at two options. The first option was to mount it to the tile, which wasn't recommended because of the type of tile that I had. Yeah. And the other thing that you have to be careful with if you're mounting through tiles is that if you're then putting holes into the membrane of the roof, and then you have to protect that particular area for leaks. So I'm quite fortunate to have concrete on top of my chimney. My chimney is not open. It was blocked off a long time ago. So that was the best possible option for me. And it's secure. We've had some pretty windy weather over the last couple of days, and it seems pretty solid.
Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. That's good to have first-hand experience of those things. And you're absolutely right, Martin. The wind has been really, really strong. I think we had 40 to 50. They're predicting 70-mile-an-hour gusts, so that'll be a bit of a test. But I did not see any drop in service during the wind, and I found actually it performed a bit better. That could well be because of the rain, maybe washed it a bit. We're quite dusty up here where we live, so I don't know. I think, did you guys have any outages, any weather problems?
Yeah, I dropped into a little bit of outage at about 11:30 last night, and then it just completely crashed the equipment about 11:30 at night, and all I heard from upstairs from the other half was, "What's happened to the internet?" Again! So it's me climbing into the loft to reset it all. And after that, it was fine, to be fair.
Yeah. Right, I've got another question here, lads. How are the satellites going to go mobile if the cable cannot disconnect from the base?
Haven't they said there'll be a smaller version?
Don't know.
They're
Aaron,
calling
sounds
them.
like something we don't know.
They're supposed to be coming out with an RV kit or something along those lines. I think that was discussed. It still will have a cable. I just think that the dish is going to be half the size.
Like a little saucer for your tea.
I mean, I'm not too sure how the cable not detaching would make any difference to it going mobile, because you're always going to have that cable that needs to go to it anyway. So the fact that it can't detach, is that going to stop it going mobile? I don't think it would.
That's good.
I think we can all agree that it should be detachable, because that would make the install a lot easier as well. But I don't think it would stop it going mobile.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Mine's never gone mobile. It's mounted on a chimney, for goodness sake. I can't. And so is yours, Martin. Let's go to your. This is Martin's installation right there. For those of you who didn't know, we're jumping between the live stream and Martin's roof cam, which is live, and sometimes we get people stand on it or airplanes land on it, helicopters sometimes. Who knows?
Kangaroos.
It's all there. Yeah, it can all happen real time. And if something exciting happens, we will bring it to you here first. Oh, there's a bird went past. See how exciting that is? Right there. That's what you get. That kind of entertainment. We love it. So Roger's made a good point there for US users. We don't really get ice here to that extent. Snow.
Beast from the East was probably the last extreme that we had here in the UK. So generally our weather's not that cold.
Yeah, but that's good advice for people that are considering which mount to get. And if you have snow, well, there you go. That should be helpful. Yeah, the dish does heat itself up if it detects ice or cold. I don't know how. It must have a thermometer in it. Not quite sure.
It's really interesting as well, because I've had a look through some of the Reddit posts, and there are actually dishes with icicles hanging off them all the way around the edge. So it's almost like the heat is only concentrated on the center of the dish. So the outside of the dish doesn't get any of the heat at all.
This was mine in the last lot.
Was that actually yours?
You can see that. Yeah, that was mine in the last lot of snow we had. So yeah, it just heats up on top and then it melts off and goes down the side.
I thought that was an American one. I didn't realize that was yours. I'm pretty sure I've used that in the video before that photo.
Yeah, no, that was our one. The only problem you have is potentially if the icicles get too big, they can fuse to like the guttering or the side of the house, and it can cause the motors to burn out potentially. So you have got to try and stow it and knock them off.
That's a good
got a little bit further the next day. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Did that interrupt your service or not?
Not an issue at all.
I suppose that's something potentially they're going to have to look at long term, is getting the heat to, distribute evenly across the whole of the dish.
So I don't know if the heat is generated by the actual antennas inside of the phased array, that they generate enough heat to warm it up. So they'd have to put like a special heating element on the outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Yeah, and the dish itself, it's got this weird surface. It's kind of waxy or something. It's what's the best way to? So I would compare it to one of those air hockey. Do you remember the air hockey tables? I think it feels a bit like that.
It's like a hydrophobic layer.
Yeah, like what you said, Aaron. I think the heat is actually generated from the antennas itself. I don't think there is actually a heating element in it. Um, so when they say that it is capable of melting ice, I think that's just from the heat from the unit itself.
Hmm.
Happy to be proven wrong, and I've got no prior knowledge on that, but that's what I think it is.
It does use quite a bit more electricity than a standard router, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more, but I haven't noticed. But
Or I
apparently it
wonder
does.
if it's a kind of situation, kind of like what Tesla do with the motors on the Model 3. So they just run them inefficiently, which generates more heat. So I wonder if it's the same kind of situation with the dish, in that they could make it run inefficiently to increase the heat. Possibly. It's I'm not sure.
But then it must be able to measure the temperature somehow.
Yeah, I think it has got temperature sensors inside it.
Hmm.
In terms of your question about the Chinese satellites, I have no idea. I didn't even know that was a thing.
So are they talking about March 5B? If it's that one, then that's a 20-ton rocket, which is suspected to survive re-entry. But at this stage, they are unknown as to where the rocket is going to crash.
Wow.
No idea as yet. But I think Starlink are aware, and they're probably going to make sure their satellites are out of the way.
Yeah, that's that's pretty bad, isn't it? That could be a thing in the future, though. Stuff flying out of the sky.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did the same thing,
Yeah.
Patrick, in terms of I drilled a hole. I didn't drill a hole. I got somebody else to do it. If I had drilled a hole in my wall, I probably would have killed a dog or harmed somebody. So I got somebody else to do it. And it's a pretty big hole, actually. And it's filled in. Put a bit of silicone in there. And it looks pretty nice.
So
Right,
we're
we must be
coming
getting
up
close to some more
to,
action, I think. Let's jump back to
yeah,
Martin's bird
second
cam
engine
here.
start, I think.
Give us a shout if anything exciting happens on the stream, and we will
I was
see.
just about to say, if you want to switch back to the stream, I think we're just
Oh,
about to have the second engine start.
oh yeah.
So it's only a 1 second burn, this one, so it's really quick, and it just starts it spinning, so that when they release, then they separate easier.
You
You
were
also see the
right.
amount of altitude that it's gone up as well since.
Hmm.
So there it goes. We can usually see it afterwards. There it is. And there it goes.
Wow. That was like it stalled.
Yep. I think that it gimbals across. So they light it literally just to kick it into the spin.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
So I think if they show us then the forward-looking one where you can actually see the satellites, you can start to see it started to spin.
Yeah. Can you imagine though watching one of these live, right? And you just see the satellites coming out and they're being deployed across space. And then all of a sudden you just see this figure just drift off into oblivion. That's gotta happen. Just chuck him out there. Space junk. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding you, Des. That's not gonna happen, Des. We won't do that.
Has Des
Peter,
reported you for abuse against routers yet?
No, he has not.
Right. It's coming.
Keeping
It's
his, I
coming.
triggered his little thing on the bottom of him, sir. So he's and his eyes stayed on.
so to reply to you, Peter, no, I'm not using the router from SpaceX. Mine goes directly into a Ubiquiti USG Pro, which is then fed out to the Ubiquiti Unify access points.
-40 Celsius, -40 Celsius. That's pretty cold.
Mm.
The coldest I've ever been in was Winter Park in Colorado, and it was atop a mountain, and it was very windy, and it was -20 Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. That's quite low.
Very cold.
Yeah, it was pretty chilly. And then I lost my 10-year-old in a blizzard. So great parenting right there. Well done. Found her. She was all
Great
right. She
place
got to
to
the
lose a
bottom of the
child.
mountain. It's a bad place to lose a child. I don't know why we had a child up in the first place. Probably shouldn't say that on the stream. It's all right. I wasn't in the UK, and my children are still alive. So, in many ways, I see that as successful parenting. It's about growth, right? So, any more parenting tips, please ask. My children are still alive, and that's a good thing.
You haven't attached them to a drone yet, then?
Well, my little girl Jenny was saying, "Can I try that?" And I'm like, "No, you cannot."
No, you don't have to use the router.
None of us are using the router. We all have our routers by our sides, and they've become our little companions. So they're not plugged in.
You can use any old router that supports DHCP.
And you can even just plug it straight into your Mac or your PC or whatever. You don't even need to use a router. So if you have one device in your house, go straight into it.
So Jace plugged his directly into his computer. Was your speeds any better doing it directly connected, or?
No difference really. The only difference that I found was I got a IPv6 via DHCP as well as IPv4, but other than that, no real difference. Latency was slightly better. Obviously, you're taking out of the wireless access point area, so you're going to gain a couple of milliseconds there. But no, other than that, it was pretty much the same.
So that's good to know though, because then it shows you that it doesn't affect performance of your system. I guess there must be some routers that aren't as good. I mean, the one I have, I think is working quite well. And the other thing I was going to ask, guys, on your routers, do you? Because on some of the forums, I remember before I bought Starlink, it said about for gaming in particular, and this was relevant, that you couldn't open your NAT type. Is that a case on some routers, or what does that mean? Because technically, I don't really get that. I know what NAT is, but I don't get how Starlink and why that would have came up in the first place. Can anybody help on that?
So Starlink uses something called carrier grade NAT, where that is one IP address that basically loads of people share. So ordinarily from a normal ISP, you'll generally get one IP per user. Now that could change if it's a dynamic IP, so that will keep changing, fairly regular. And you can buy static IPs, so it never changes. But yeah, Starlink uses something called carrier grade NAT or CG NAT. So a lot of people share the same IP because we've run out of IPv4, basically.
I see. So yeah, I hope that helps. Because one of the things that my son was complaining about is strict NATs and NAT types, and yeah, gaming was horrible on a strict NAT type. It was awful. Like, I just kept getting my head blown off by stuff. It's a good question about IPv6 actually. Is it fully enabled? GS, you're good with that one, or Martin?
I don't think it is. it seems to be hit and miss as to whether you get an IPv6 or not. And if you're going through like the USG and things like that, you've got to set up IPv6 throughout the whole system. Whereas if you plug in direct into say the MacBook, that will pick up the IPv6 straight from Starlink. But it does seem to be hit and miss. I didn't get it every time.
But I've gone into my properties on my network settings on Windows here, and I go in there and it clearly displays an IPv6 address that isn't local. It hasn't changed from what I can see for a little while, but I haven't tried doing anything with that IPv6 address yet. To be honest, I wouldn't know how to.
I think if you go on the browser, I think you can go to ip6.me. I think that was the URL, and it'll tell you if you're running through an IPv6 or an IPv4.
Yeah, a couple of observations there from the questions. Yeah, I think it's fascinating that we're watching the launch of satellites and we're all using the network that those satellites and those launches historically have provided. And we know that each launch, our network and system becomes better and better. And it's pretty mind blowing. Like I don't know what to compare it to. I really
It is a
enjoy
lot
it, actually.
better. It's a lot better than what it was last time you did a live stream when we had a launch. The difference between that and now is incredible.
And actually, the previous live stream, which was the first time I ever tried to live stream, and it was just cringeworthy, but it is there, so you can see there was some lag spikes, there was some dropouts in the audio, but we're 1 hour 1 minute in, and I think it's been pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's
Probably time for another speed test.
I'm going to do one.
This is where I'm back down to 20 meg again, isn't it?
Been in my habit. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. I just had a brilliant one. The 26 millisecond ping.
Cool.
Oh, I keep getting my face. Don't see my face. Oh, Aaron's winning this one. Right. What'd you get, Aaron?
So that gave 312 down, 19.5 up, and a ping of 29 milliseconds. No packet loss. Not bad, not bad.
That's pretty good.
I think we've got a winner.
Yeah, I had a 26 second ping, 26 millisecond, 26 second ping would be pretty long time, you know? So 26 millisecond ping, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's pretty good. Zero packet loss my end, 17 upload. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think people will be encouraged. The fact that you don't have to use the Starlink router. They're not the best. You know, they're not great. And I have a feeling that Starlink know that. It was a case of getting the system rolled out. And they do work. They're functional routers, but you can get better, I think is the best way to put it. Really enjoying this one tonight, guys. It's quite nice watching the stuff happening and some really good questions. And it's nice that we can cover a lot of topics. I think that whenever we do YouTube videos, I tend to only focus on 3 subjects or 3 topics, and this is a really nice way to do it because we can basically answer everybody's questions and people that potentially want to own the system. Well, it's helpful to know how it works for us, and that's the good and the bad. We're not more than happy to share the bad experiences here too, guys. So if you have any questions, please ask them, and we will share negative experience as well as the positive. So what's next then in terms of this launch?
Deployment.
Yeah, we'll have deployment of the satellites.
I'm going to Martin's Roof. Yeah, it's getting dark.
Yeah, weather's been terrible today.
Yeah, we're already dark here. There's a seagull circling along around the top of your dish there.
Yeah, we're normally the last to get dark because we're furthest east.
Oh, night vision mode.
Infrared's kicked in.
It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm going to keep an eye on that. In case you get a bat on it or something.
My new camera turned up today because obviously I'm putting a 360 PTZ up there. But they sent me one without PoE, which really upset me, so I've got to send it back now.
Oh no.
Because my switch, my 20-port switch that's upstairs is got built-in PoE. So all my CCTV cameras and all my AP points in the house all run on PoE. And they gave me this tiny little transformer with about 1/2 meter cable on it, which is going to be no good for the roof.
Oh.
So
Yeah, it's not a recommended device then, is it?
no.
I'm going to like this stream actually. I've just liked the Starlink stream.
58 minutes in, you've decided, you know what?
Yeah,
I like this.
it. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I keep forgetting to hit the like thing, and I hear people on YouTube all the time saying about likes and subscribes and stuff like that. I'm not there yet. I feel uncomfortable asking people to do that. How can it's like saying how you wouldn't walk out to somebody in the street and say, "Oh, will you like me?" You know, it seems like a weird thing to do. Well, then some people might do that. Like, I don't know. I just feel a bit awkward about it.
But I think it would be acceptable for us to say for people to like and subscribe to Irish Pixel. So I think we should do that. So I think everybody out there should like and subscribe onto
me feel awkward.
to the channel.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to mute you.
Give it a thumbs up.
I genuinely appreciate it. There's some floaty stuff in space there. Look, see it, little white speck. That could be the
There
spider.
goes the spider.
Yeah, how many of us actually YouTubed Starlink information when we were first ordering it for like tips and reviews and stuff? And I remember when I ordered mine, I think Pixel was probably the first video that I actually spotted before any of the others.
Oh, which one was that?
I think it was. I started off from the very beginning. So literally, when you installed it, you were going through week 1 or day. You started off with days, and then it went to weeks.
Yeah.
Because obviously, some users they post an update on Starlink, and then you never hear from them again. But it's nice that we've got a consistent sort of progress on how things are going.
Yeah, and I think as well for me it'll be nice to look back on it. And I always, you know, some of the older stuff on my YouTube channel, I never really knew which direction to take it. But I was thinking, because the Starlink thing seems to be of interest to people, do I hide the previous stuff? And I just thought, you know what, I'm not, because like there's some sort of legacy in there, and in terms of journey and all the stuff that makes you who you are. So without going massively deep, I think it's important in terms of character, so people can see what you're about rather than just. Do you know what I mean? That's not. I feel like I'm going really heavy here. I have to revert back to silly. I think like a massive kind of worms. There.
No, I think like what Martin said, there's a lot of videos out there of people unboxing Dishy, but then that's kind of it. You never really get a follow-up other than perhaps one video a little bit later on down the line of, okay, I've got it set up now and I'm getting 200 meg off it, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's loads of unboxing videos, and people are massively excited about getting it. And I've promised that I'll never do unboxing videos. I just think, like, on that note, I was going to unbox this. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not doing that. It was free from Apple, actually. On Apple products, we could bring you a little exclusive here that Martin has got the new little Apple Tag things going down there.
Yes.
How are they working out for you?
They're actually really good.
Are they easy enough to pair up and stuff like that?
They do. So you just literally put it right next to your iPhone, and it comes up like you would pair your AirPods. As you can see, I've engraved a certain emoji on mine.
I love it. It's my favorite emoji.
But yeah, they're really good. And you just use the Find My app. I have one for my keys and my wallet because I'm forever losing them.
Yeah. I didn't see what that one was attached to. Have you just got one that's attached to nothing?
Yeah, so I've got one that's on my key fob.
Oh, it's your keys, right? I see.
Yeah, and then there's another one in the wallet as well, and then they just appear on the map.
Oh, I
So
see.
when you want to find one of them, you just play the sound.
Okay.
They're quite loud.
Yeah, for the size of it. Oh, here
Yeah.
we go. We're getting some action here. I like that guy. I can't wait to be on their the official live stream. I'm expecting a flight over for the next one.
It's just a matter of time, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be insane. I would be the least helpful presenter ever.
And here we have a wobbly thing about to come off the Ujit, and off it goes.
Up goes the thingy, down comes the thingy.
That's the one.
I mean, I could
There
try and
goes the
come
wobbly
to it. Oh,
thing,
it's
look.
broke.
Yeah.
I'd go, quick, it's broke. Everybody help. Something's going wrong. It's going disastrously wrong. What's that light across the middle? It looks like a lightsaber. It would be a horrible commentary. Look at that ectoplasm.
That's an amazing view.
It's incredible.
Goodbye, my internet connection.
Do you think it's going to crash?
I think in the last 3 or 4 launches, we've had issues in the following hours of it. I think last time, didn't we have a massive no satellite blackout for about 30 minutes?
That did happen, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So my Starlink will run its course whenever there's no more Starlink videos to release. So I'll have to find someone else to do. I might do some technology or something. I don't know. These guys will help me out, and I'm sure everybody that follows will help out as well. Yeah, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Okay, within limits. That sounded like really vulnerable and like kind of not that sort of stuff. So yeah, well, that was we got through a whole SpaceX launch, which I'm really impressed with. We'll answer these questions. We'll stick Martin's dish cam back on there. Is there anything else going to happen, guys, or is that pretty much us?
No, that's pretty much it, really.
I mean, that's really good. So let's try and... Oh, I thought my wife would come in there. She was about to drag me in to do something like housework or something. So, question here: do you ever get higher than 40 milliseconds ping on average? So higher, I'm guessing he means less than. So yeah, I mean 23. But we get like sometimes you get insane ping like 300. But that's not a really bad day.
That. Yeah, I'm reading that the other way.
Yeah, you get sort of lag spikes every now and then on demand.
Yeah.
So in terms of your experience and the lowest ping that you've had, what's the lowest ping that you've ever recorded?
27 for me.
Yeah, 25.
I actually got a 21.2 wired, that was.
That's pretty good. I think the lowest I've had was 23. So I was pretty happy with that. So they go. It goes a lot lower than that. I'm just gonna quickly do something here.
Well, what is their target? Is it 20? Is there a target that they're giving?
The idea is between 16 to 19 milliseconds by this summer, apparently. So
do we think that they're going to be lowering more satellites into lower orbit?
I don't think they can
Yeah.
go any lower than 550 at the moment, anyway.
We now have some space music on, guys. It is May the 4th. So we've reverted to space playlist. I have no idea what's on it, but it sounds very cinematic and very beautiful. So things may get emotional any second now. I'm just going to let's crack through these questions. There is questions coming and I feel like I'm dicking about. I'm not really looking at them. How dare SpaceX make internet hookups so easy? Yeah, what were they thinking? Getting ready to release. Oh, Matthew was, yeah. So I think Matthew might be behind in the stream because that was, oh no, I'm behind in the questions. So yeah, sorry. Take that back, Matthew. My bad. Thanks for the live stream. Very useful. Thanks, Mac. Thanks for joining us and really appreciate it. How many dropouts do you get in a 24-hour period on average? In the last few days, sometimes none, actually. So I've been really impressed with that. And what about you guys?
I went 2 weeks without an outage, but over the last couple of days, they have been quite consistent. But they are generally quite bad coming up to a Starlink launch.
Yeah, if I look at my 12-hour statistics today, I think all it's got is other outages in 37 seconds. And I think that was 2 dropouts today.
That's pretty good. And then last one, thank you, Darling H. Oh, and some of the American guys wanted me to say router for some reason. Don't quite know why. So yeah, router.
Router or router?
No, it's router. Router.
They call them routers, though.
Router
Aluminum.
with an
They
oo.
say aluminum, and it's aluminium. But you know, there's no right answers here. And then so frames per second, game ready yet? Don't know what frames per second we get. I think I'll have to test Fortnite again because ping has dropped in the last firmware update a couple of days ago. So I'll definitely for the next video I'll do a little bit of an insight into Fortnite where all the stats are on screen like last time. So hopefully that'll help you. Thank you for the question.
We did an iPad.
Oh, you did? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that was 120 FPS over Wi-Fi, which was pretty impressive.
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a graphical intensive game. A lot happening.
Is it frames per second or is it first person shooter? I think he was
Frames per
possibly on
second.
about.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh, he was first person shooter, yeah. How many dropouts do you get in terms? Oh yeah. So yeah, frames. Yeah, first person shooter. Absolutely. Call of
I
Duty's
may
fine.
actually try that. I might put CS:GO on tonight and give that a test.
I'm happy to do Gears of War. That's my forte. Fortnite is not. I suck at that. So yeah, I'm gonna try. Somebody's tried Stadia on Starlink and it wasn't great. I think Stadia is done though. Is it not? Have they not stopped doing it? Like, have they not pulled the plug on Stadia?
It's still going, but it's not a very great service.
This music's making me feel like I'm on some kind of substance. Can anybody else hear, or is it just me?
Just you.
Just you, I'm afraid.
I'm hoping that everybody in the stream isn't necessarily hearing this because it's really trippy. Anyway. So yeah, they both work. PUBG and COD do work. You can play those just fine. Not great at them. So leave it open for a couple more seconds, minutes. Give this in case there's a bit of a delay. There's another Starlink user. So we have 6 Starlink users on this stream right now during a Starlink launch, and I think that's pretty good. So we can say that we've been live for 1 hour 20, and that was a bit of a marathon in my opinion. It's been a long day. And these guys have been great. Thank you so much for being here. And it gives you a good example of how far Starlink has come. So in terms of its stability, its performance, I don't think we've had any dropouts. I don't think any of us have lost connection, but it's been stable and it's been good and it's a
Mm.
positive experience. Would you all agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. Nearly
Yeah, I
80
would.
minutes in, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's good, guys. Anyway, thank you so much, and thank you for your knowledge and your questions. Thank you for the panel for sharing everything they shared. Really appreciate it. Without you all, it wouldn't be possible. So whatever you're doing for the rest of the evening, have a good one, and I will catch you later. We will catch you later. So and Des, for him, catch you later. Bye bye. Catch you later again. See ya.